can be, you see, pride is a spirit, it's a very deceiving spirit. That's why, you know what the brother does, you know what Yahawah does? He will bring truthful brother around you, check you, and you act like a nigga. Because Yahawah ain't got time to come down to talk to you. You get what I'm saying? He ain't got time to talk to you. He will use the next man next to you.
Here he checks it though. 14, yet thou shalt be brought down to hell to the sides of the pit. They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee, saying, is this the man? Because they're looking up in like he's some kind of god.
But he talks about our people too, you know?
That's right.
It's like when he says he brought down to hell, brought down to a low estate.
Yeah.
Right. Is
That's
this the
how you
man
brought down.
that made the earth to tremble, that did shake kingdoms?
But my point is this, yeah? That's Esau, right?
Yes.
But that's the same thing because in the kingdom, that'll be okay, but that'll be low as far as, you know, the rankings.
It is another.
Then the guy over will be nothing compared to you, though.
It is.
You'll be saying, can you go and tell them more about that should come to clean the gutter? You'll be sending, over will be the guy that you send, the chick that you send to get them Edomite to come and build the yard.
And that will be the everlasting shame.
Yeah, that's what it is, man.
For eternity, he's going to remember.
Because he's going to be walking around as he going,
Just like
whatever
we're
he'll be
gonna
like,
remember.
he'll be like,
He's had his consolation.
He's already had
Yes, he's at it. He's at it.
look at that.
Yeah, so this is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 10, and verse 13. For pride is the beginning of sin.
Oh man, that's dangerous, man. Hey, listen to me.
And sin, by the way,
is the beginning of sin,
yeah,
man.
and sin, by the way, is the transgression of the law.
But no, but what he's saying about the sin here, you know what he mean by that?
For pride is,
Rebellion.
yeah, no, I know.
Sin as rebellion.
Yeah, no, I know. But
No,
pride is a form of
literally,
rebellion.
it means what you're saying. But in that context, when I say, read that again, when I say,
So this is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 10, and verse 13.
yeah, read that part we're talking about, yeah.
For pride is the beginning of sin.
Pride is the beginning of rebellion.
Exactly.
That's right. Hold that. 1 Samuel 15:23.
It's the book of 1 Samuel, chapter 15 and verse 23.
Now,
For rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft
What's the judgment for
and
witchcraft? Hold on.
stubbornness.
What's the judgment for witchcraft?
yeah.
That's what the pride gets. That's why it says,
Because pride-
also resisted the proud.
Because pride will keep you into a dead state. You could be in your life, maybe like you
Can't
woke
repent
up,
in pride.
you do that thing, but spiritually you're dead. The Most High turn his back against you, man. Bring your precept, my brother. Bring your precept.
Oh yeah, finish it. And then,
Oh,
And
finish your.
he that hath it shall
Yeah,
pour
finish it.
out abomination. And therefore the Lord Yahawah brought upon them strange calamities and overthrew them utterly.
Right. That's what pride do to you. So the first thing we're gonna do in this truth is learn to be humble, man.
And I want to just add the next verse. The Lord Yahawah hath cast down the thrones of proud princes and set up the meek in their stead.
That talks about what? Esau and Jacob. Because the proud is Esau, man.
we're the meat.
And the meek, we are the meek.
We
So
are the meek,
We
yeah.
we deserve to be in the kingdom by now. No, honestly, most I not know.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean. In essence, because we're the meek. We're the only one who's trying to please the Most High. Esau ain't trying to 15 and 32. We're the only one who are trying to keep the law, man.
Get rid of that pride.
So them two-thirds, yeah, they are enemies. Technically speaking. The two-thirds, they are enemies.
Technically,
They are enemies. They are enemies.
They don't keep it there.
Because they're doing, sorry, finish it.
No, I was going to say they're kind of holding the kingdom of pride, but not they can hold the kingdom from
Yeah,
pride.
but- yeah.
That makes sense. But
That's what they're doing.
They didn't repent.
That's what I was about to say.
They're furthering our affliction.
That's right.
They're keeping it longer for
Yeah.
people to convert and repent. And for the new kingdom to come.
Yeah.
I mean, didn't even Yahawah say at his own mouth Whoso do the will of my Father, he is my brother, my sister,
That's right.
my mother. Showing you there in itself.
Exactly. You got precept, bring it out.
Bring it out.
Bring it out, and then we're going to read Proverbs 15 and 32.
This
Yeah?
is Jeremiah 50 and 31. It says, Behold, I am against thee, O thy most proud, saith the Lord of hosts. So yeah,
Read that again, read that
And
again.
here he comes.
We got this stuff by Esau.
Bring it out.
it says, Jeremiah 50 and 31, it says, Behold, I am against thee, O thy most proud,
I am
saith
against
the Lord
thee. So
God
the
of
Most High
hosts.
is against the pride.
Proud.
Hey, don't mess. And you see, I seen it in this truth. Brothers that trying to be proud, the Most High always mess them up. Hey, now remember this, man. When you, yes, don't worry about it. When you in this truth, at some point, you'll be carried by the kingdom. I can see that. At some point, yeah, the Most High will give you gifts. He will give you knowledge. You better be humble. Because there's a precept that say that the more, no, it's not that. The more you're weak, the more you're wise, the more you're supposed to be humble.
That's right.
So, because you don't want to be the enemy of Yahawah in this truth. Let them two-thirds be the enemy of Yahawah outside of temple. You can't be the enemy of Yahawah inside his temple. Because you're going to put yourself in a situation.
And we've seen it happen to brothers, man.
We seen it happen, man. They can't even shake it off. You know why?
Pride.
Because they don't want the next guy
That's
to
the
tell them.
reason why. It's a pride.
No, but only the problem, they don't want to listen. Right.
But they can't. They
Bring that
can't.
pride. Bring that pride.
That's why it's
See what I say? I say bring that pride.
This is
Bring the
Psalms,
precept.
Psalms 10
Bring
and
the
4.
brother.
It says, the wicked, through the pride of his countenance,
Yeah.
will not seek after Yahawah.
That's right.
Yeah, because you know, like they're walking, they're thinking that they're all tough.
They know it all.
They know it all. You know what I'm saying? They know it all. You can't talk to them. They look at you like that. Who's this guy? What's he talking about? Even in this truth, there's brothers, if you try to talk to them, they're going about it in the same spirit. Like, no.
The minute you think you know it all, you stop learning. My brother brought that out in one of his educational videos, where he demonstrated a glass of water that was full, and he tried to pour water in it. He couldn't contain it.
You have to empty out all of that. Fill it up with fresh.
Bring that Proverbs 32.
Yeah, this is the book of Proverbs, chapter 15 and verse 32.
Yeah.
And it reads, He that refuseth instruction
He that refuses instruction
despiseth his own soul.
So you're stupid, yeah? So you're a stupid nigga, yeah? You hear yourself,
That's
man.
right. And you don't even realize it.
You know what I'm saying? Brothers that are stubborn, they make me laugh, man. Benjamin is very stubborn.
Yeah.
And in this truth, when they come, they have to change their ways.
He put half of our tribe to death because we were so.
Yes. Yeah, because
They
we
went
didn't want to
against-
give up the sodomites.
They went against all, how you gonna go against all the tribe? So because they didn't want to lick them on because they say, those are my brothers. But at some point they have to tell you, we're gonna get to you.
No, it was after, and the other tribes that first.
No, that's what I'm saying. But they did try and they did because they got fed up at some
That's
point.
right.
You know what I'm saying? They got fed up at some point, man, to the point where they say, yo, that's what Benjamin, if you look at them, the way they talk to women, not the one that was born here, but the Yali one. I mean, inside they talk to women. What's up, baby? What's up, beautiful baby? Can I have your number? They don't know how to, like, go to a woman and then talk to that. That one, baby. Like, you know what? It comes from the fact that they have to hide and take women to repopulate Benjamin. That's just a bracket. That was just like a bracket. Read it again.
I didn't finish.
No, read 32. We have to talk about 32.
32 and then I'll get to it. Proverbs chapter 15 and verse 32. And it reads, He that refuseth instruction despiseth his own soul.
So if you refuse, it's a very dumb thing to refuse when brother are checking you. Obviously, the bully one I don't want. But the type of brother in the truth, But when you come, they want to definitely the police. They want to bully you, and the way they talk, they don't know how. Yes, they don't know how to talk to you. That, you know what I'm saying? Like I can be friends with my brother, because truth is truth.
That's how you know this place is going down.
Every second.
And they're not about, they ain't about nothing. They ain't about nothing.
Jumping traffic.
All right? That's what they're doing. So in this truth, you have to be able to take, when the brother comes to you and say, yo brother, you're going off, have a conversation.
Examine yourself.
Yeah, it will be good, because if you're a nigga, you will, but the most I ain't gonna give you certain understanding. See, like, there's brothers that don't have understanding in this truth. It doesn't matter how many times you're talking about something, they're just stuck in their ways. And that's dangerous, because the most I can give you free talent, and you got 2 talent. But now, he made it in a way where the way for you to get to the 3rd talent will be through humility, through taking rebuke. All right? But you don't want to take it. You don't want to hearken. So what does he do?
Take away.
He blocks you from getting to that talent. So when it comes to certain thing in life, you don't understand it. You know what I'm saying? But when you come back, he will come to collect, man. But he will say, yo, I gave you free. You only work with 1.5 because you were stubborn. So you're going to check you for it.
Precept as well.
Yes, you can bring your precept. You can bring your precept.
This is Colossians 4:6.
Yeah.
It says, let your speech always be with grace, seasoned with salt, that you may know how you ought to answer every man.
Right, so basically, in this truth, you have to be seasoned. You need to know how to talk to brother. If a brother now is being a nigger, then he can be real. But you see what I say? If when we tell you don't change you, adversity will. So at some point, you just have to mark a brother and let it. I can deal with you, you know. I'll tell you once, twice, 3. If you don't listen, then when it comes to certain things, I won't say nothing. But at the end of the day, I don't want us to go to war because you don't want to listen. But we have work to do. I'm not gonna waste my time, but I'm gonna love you. That part between you and Yahawah.
It's like the one said, I don't know, in Monday he said, it's better you bring your own pride down before the most high thing.
That's it.
Further down Isaiah 13, it said, I'll punish the world for their evil. I'll lay low the lofty looks of man. If you don't humble the most high will.
That's right. Did you finish that? Yeah,
Proverbs chapter 15 and verse 32, and it reads, he that refuseth instruction despiseth his own soul, but he that heareth reproof getteth understanding.
And that's what I'm saying. Before you go there, for you to get understanding, for the Most High to give you the blessing of understanding, you're going to have to be humble.
You have to be tested.
All right, so a lot of situations that's happening, and they can't get certain breakdown, certain precept, and certain reality in this truth because they're proud. So the Most High wouldn't give it. So they're simple in the truth because they don't want to be humble. They say they're in the truth, but they act like they're worldly.
that's like when you read Surah 19:24, it says, better man with small understanding.
That's right.
But this guy he's using what the Most High give him. He's not being proud. But then he says, that one that's got much wisdom, but he's not, he's breaking the commandments. And he's not listening to what the Most High says, he's not humbling down himself.
They don't have wisdom, they have knowledge.
Yeah.
Because wisdom is knowledge plus understanding.
Yeah. So they got certain
You know what I'm
knowledge,
saying?
but because they can't humble themselves now, because like I said, there's that kind of different knowledge in the world, but then it's not every knowledge is beneficial to you. You know what I'm saying? So,
They're not a Hebrew Israelite, but they're not wise with it. Can I read a precept? 1 Peter 5:5. Likewise, no, get it first. But that one goes into what we're talking about.
but before you read that, let me finish that.
I'll finish it up. Oh, I said I can, my brother. Finish it.
Proverbs chapter 15 and verse 33 now.
Yeah, it's like us.
The fear of Yahawah is the instruction of wisdom.
That's right. The fear of Yahawah is the
Instruction of
wisdom,
wisdom.
man.
And before honor is
Before you get that proud,
Yeah.
Before honor is humility.
Before honor is humility,
And you have to
man.
be meek.
Humble yourself.
Hey,
The lower state.
you ain't getting to the kingdom if you're not meek.
That's why it says the meek shall inherit the earth.
That's why the Most High make us a certain way. The reason why why do you think you lose certain things when you come in this room?
That's right.
It's to make you humble, it's to make you meek. When you're at your lowest point, you know that you can't, sort it out with your own might. So what do? You put your faith in the Most High. So after a while now, you say, Yahawah Ratazah. Yahawah Ratazah. If the Most High will you. You don't put you don't say to yourself, I'm able to do it. You say, no, if it's not,
Then it's
so
your will,
Yahawah,
yeah.
I can't do it.
But then that pride is going to stop you from doing that. You know what I'm saying?
Let me bring this one.
Yeah.
1 Peter 5:5. Likewise, ye younger, submit yourself unto the elder. Right? Yea, all of you be subject one to another, and be clothed with humility.
It says be clothed with humility. You know what I'm saying? So that's something you meant to have on you all the time. Like, who's coming out here walking naked? You always come outside clothed. So every time you come out, clothe yourself with humility, man. Be able to humble down yourself. Like the brother was saying, being able to take a check. That's one of the that's one of the hardest thing to do, when it comes to this truth. Like, that's what runs, like some of the shit that me and the others kind of been through when we first started this. If the Most High Spirit were up on us, we would have left long time, man. It's like, you have to be able to take,
shame.
That's a shame.
Everyone look at you like that and laughing at you for like hours.
Shame,
When you keep it going because you got people that are ridiculing you. But we never back down, man, because we knew what it took
Consider our
to
life,
carry
right?
on, man.
That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
we considered it. We knew what it took, man. Shame is part of it. Yeah, I'm looking like, when I sit down, I'm looking at the bigger picture. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking, I'm being, put to shame right now. But when the time comes, Yahawah Ratazah is the Most High. Hopefully, I'll be part of that number, yeah? So he say, Council, on the top, yeah? Likewise, ye younger, submit yourself unto the elder.
Yeah, I just wanted that part. Remember it said to submit yourself unto the elders. Now it's talking about the elders in the truth, not just your elders, because we've seen even earlier, our elder ain't teaching us anything.
He ain't got no brain.
No, right. So
No
you have
common
to,
sense.
You have to care for the elder you're learning from, the ones that are keeping the commandments and the faith of Yahawah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he said, I was going to say, yea, all of you be subject one to another. Meaning, if Yahawah come and tell me something, I have to listen. We have to have, me and I already had that little thing. But that's how it is, among brothers, where, we come to an agreement.
Don't make
and,
a position get to your head.
Yeah.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? Bro, that's another thing.
You gotta respect brothers, man.
Yeah, like, oh yeah, I'm an elder, or I'm a deacon, or I'm a bishop. Like, come on, man.
And that's what he says here, look, he says, yea, all of you be subject one another, meaning even if you're the head, you gotta be able to take rebuke from the
Yahawah
next
Shai
brother.
do? Did he wash people's feet?
Yes.
Exactly.
Didn't he wash people's feet?
Yeah, because a king, he's meant to be the most humblest man in all Jacob. It says in King Solomon, it said he wasn't even arrayed like the lilies in the field because he dressed lowly, lowly. And then it said Moses was the meekest man
Yes.
in all Jacob.
But when you spoke to God, what else? I'm talking about Mashah, King Mashah. He spoke to God, he spoke to Yahawah. Well, face to face, and what else? That's the summum, that's the highest thing you can ever ask for. He had it like that. So when you see, that's why I say the more your prayer, the prayer you are, the humble you're supposed to be, because to be honest with you, pride comes from a lack. When you're prideful because you lack something.
That's right, yeah.
I mean, it's at work when people are managers. They want you, when they come, you have to bow down. You know why? Because they weren't respecting your family growing up. Or they were rejected as bullies at school and that. Amongst peers, they were bullies. So that's the police.
The government.
The way I saying this? Because when they were young, they were bullied, they were nothing, man.
Oh,
they were
envy
clowns.
Jake.
Every just so now they're coming now, they want to show authority. They want like, if you talk to me, ready to kill a brother because he says something against you. You know what I'm saying? So pride actually is it comes from the lack. The reason why Esau is proud because he's hiding one thing. The father is not superior to his brother Jacob. He's a damn thief. So if you're in this truth, why would you want to be proud?
Scripture said the pride is not for a man, right?
Yeah, a man of understanding shouldn't have pride. Now we got ego in that, but you have to check yourself every time. You know, every time you face something, check yourself. Yeah, bring it up.
Scripture saying, Job said, what is man? He says the Lord, he looks at the angels, he charges the angels of folly, and that the heavens is not even clean. So how much more man that's in earth? So how can you be proud when you're like grass, you're here today, you're gone tomorrow? Even King David said, my days are like a handle. As mighty a man he was, he said that made me to know my days, to know how frail I am. He was a mighty man. He said he could break ball of steel just by his forearm. So his hands was literally weapons.
And that's for the Shaolin. That's that energy that they have. Them Chinese guys, some of them can do that. They can go hard. But that's how you show that when the Musa give it that spiritual power, you have that. Right? You know what I'm saying?
This is Sirach 10 and 7. It says, pride is hateful before the Most High and man, and by both does one commit iniquity.
Yeah, that's one example.
And the man he lifted up, he's not trying to hear the word. He's too up in his.
Yeah, but he's proud. Look, me personally, if I was like, I would never wear like what do I show for? But that's all he got. Look, you don't waste the guy like that. That's the most emptiest guy ever.
That's right.
I'm telling you, women will say that, man. You go see, I guess what you tell me, the guys, and when she sat with the bones, when she had conversation with you like him, I was so disappointed, man. Empty vessel. I'm talking about y'all need to go to the gym now, you know what I'm saying? Like, talking about the foot go.
The mighty man glory in his might.
Yeah, because that's all he got. That's what he has to show. But us now, we have to be lowly because you see us is when you the manual of the Lord, when you go to places, you have to sit in the last place unless they tell him to be.
Yeah, be invited.
When you go in places, you shouldn't talk. Like me, you might think that I'm talkative, but I'm not. It's just that the Most High gave him that spirit to preach. But as far as I know these people maybe say he's kind of shit. Well, if you take away the truth, I'm a quiet brother, man. I'm even timid.
It's the spirit that quickeneth, man.
Yes, I remember the time in my life when I was a shy man. I was shy. If you ask certain people in my history, yeah. If people that know me certain stage of my life, they say this guy is a humble guy. Humbleness, he can't don't talk. But the Most High,
For this truth,
for this truth, he will build me up. But apart from that, I'm a quiet guy, man. I'm not the guy to be bragging in that. There's no point. You don't have to come to have conversation with me to know maybe that I'm sort of a deep brother. Like I know certain things that I say, but I'm not gonna show you that. Because that's what Yahawah does. That's what Yahawah can burn up the place right now. But if no one can see Yahawah, that's why this guy can come. The guy that came to you, that demon level 11, say, where is he? Where is God? Where is Axel? Where is Birmingham Axel?
upgraded, it says 15 and we're the best 10.
Hey, demon level.
No, that's pride. That is grace.
Yeah.
That was.
You know what I'm saying?
Ah, you know what I'm saying?
You see how bold it is.
That was
You see how bold it is.
That was a legion. You had a legion of demons.
Listen, I can tell you all one thing.
Right, so, brother.
Can I say something?
Listen. So I was saying that guy, that demon level 10, yeah? He was so proud that he was like, where's your God? Where's like, where's your God? Bring him here. I was smashing.
Listen. I said, bring it in.
You know why they do that? Because Yahawah is humble.
Listen.
Yahawah don't show himself. You see Yahawah? He don't do nothing.
That's right. Because he's going to bring him down when he's ready.
Do you get what I'm saying? And that's how we're supposed to be.
Listen, that's a great example of pride there.
Can you imagine?
But that's empty vessel though, because he act like that he doesn't know that. He thinks that he's strong in that, all right?
That guy got back. He's got back.
What do you talk
Hey,
like?
they ignore him.
What did I do? I just put him just like.
Carried on talking like
Come on, that's how you do it.
And you know, so he
Why
got the
will you now
message and
talk
he
with his
walks
brother?
on.
Leave the guy be. Let him join BLM. Hey, by the way,
Don't argue with a bugger.
He said the scripture said, you know how to reserve the ungodly to the day of punishment. So he's reserving these people. He's keeping them, like on reserve, keeping them on standby.
hey, but the most dangerous.
Through the spirit as well, when I was watching that 12 years a slave the other day for the first time. And you know the scripture that says serve your earthly masters like you would them. And then when you get the understanding, you realize that, like you said, the Most High wants these humans to heap up, so in the end you can just deal with them, man.
And also, a quick bracket that I want to open and close. When they say servant, obey your master, it was talking about worker. A worker and a manager. Because before in Israel, they were called servants because they would come work for 6 years. After 6 years, in the 7th year, they're free. You help them start your business and they carry on with the process and that. So these one were worker.
Just to add to that, that is a practice that is still taking place in West Africa. So when you watch Nollywood movies like I do, you realize that what they do, they go to the village, they get the young men, they bring them into their company, they work for 6 or 7 years, and then afterwards, they settle them. They either give them money or they set up a business. That's an Hebrewism. Real.
Yeah, so don't worry about these guys saying that, oh, if someone come and say, yeah, but he says, the Bible says, you know, slave. Because just remember, the New Testament were translated. All right, and even the Old Testament was translated as well.
Right.
So when they translate in Greek or whatever, they will put slave there. But actually, it means worker. Like you come and I work for you, right? And you pay me, right? Technically, I may be your slave, but it's not slave where you abuse me. Where no, slave as far as working for you.
And to add to that, when you go to the next chapter,
Chapter 4.
and verse 1, it says, Masters, give unto your servants their just.
That's what it says. So that means worker.
Yeah.
It's not slave like, they date us. See what I'm saying? So
As the brother says, like it even goes into the part where Aaron and his sons, you had Aaron was the high priest and his sons were serving. But he was still giving what's just unto his sons. That's the difference between a servant and a master.
And just to add to the scholarship, the word slave is derived from Slavic. So what happened was, prior to the Slavics, which were serfs, prior to them, you would have servants, and that would be the general term. So if you're working for somebody, if I bought you or you volunteered, that would be an indentured servant, you're a servant. The term Slavic now is what was used on the Slavic people, and then it became a common phrase. So they will call you a slave, meaning you're in the condition of a Slavic person, meaning you have no rights whatsoever. And then it went further on to what they call chattel slavery, where you no longer even have human rights, you are equivalent to an animal.
Well, we even had less than animals.
Exactly.
Dog is a man's best friend. We weren't their best friend.
Absolutely. So I just bring that out to let people know that when we use these terms, you literally have to study the meaning and the etymology of these terms. Because what it is, if you don't go to the original languages, you get caught up in the terms, the meaning of the term. And these meanings have been corrupted.
there's right.
That's why we got the Minister of Education over there.
You know what I mean? Yeah, let's carry on. We're reading it.
8 and 2.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 8 and verse 2. And it reads, Speak unto Aaron and say unto him, when thou lightest the... Oh, it's lucky. My bad. I was reading.
Yeah, Aaron on your mind.
Yeah, must have. I went to the wrong. Yeah, my bad. It's lucky, Israel. Yeah, here we go. Deuteronomy chapter 8 and verse 2. And it reads, And thou shalt remember all the way which Yahawah, our power, led these 40 years in the wilderness to humble thee.
It's to humble thee. That's what the Most High does. He humbles you through. When it speaks about bringing you through the trial, the fire, that's a humbling process, that refining process. Otherwise, you're gonna buck up. Like a lot of people that go back in the world, the Most High is humbling you, bringing you to a lower state to see if you will trust in Him. But you think, boy, you know what? Yo, you have that thing, virgin. Yeah, yo, can't get one. Yeah. So you're not trusting on the Most High to be your provider for everything.
And also, look, just like you said about Egypt, when they went to people when they left Egypt and they went to the wilderness, there's a reason why they went to the wilderness.
I was a testing person.
Yes, right? It was to purify, take away the trust. All right? So now when you come in the truth now, the Most High must put you in that situation, take away the trust. Because you come from the words.
Some people can't humble like that.
See, our women, especially Benjamin, man. Benjamin has to stop that, man. Benjamin has to stop that energy, man. They're too loud. They don't have a big mouth.
This is where
Listen, Benjamin.
This is where you need some like humbling
The
process.
women from Jamaica and the women from Nigeria, and some of them from my country. Listen, you can't rock with them, you know. They rule the house. Yo, when you come to the yard, yeah, they talk from when you come to you can't even like my ex-mom. When she called, I just stay like that, man. I want to say something like she speed up, she goes to 5. They talk too much, man, and that's because they've been given that there's been like a switch where when you go to yard now, you see
they reverse the polarity.
You see the man now. The man is like a woman now. He's pussified.
That's right.
I go to yard and I see it's a woman that talks about that whole conversation. The man is like that. The man is like that.
He's humbled.
Not saying anything.
That's that word. And if you ask him a question, he say, alright, let me answer this.
Humbled.
Yeah, and then that's his humbled part. And then no, what he said because that happened on YouTube, and in the comment, you should read the comment. So the one brother say, look what these women, made our men become now. And the woman say, oh, you're not a real man. Anyway. A real man, we go and ask Mrs. No, the woman was saying they were attacking the dude because he said, look what the woman made us now. They want us now to go and ask for advice to our women before we do anything. Do you know what I'm saying? They're supposed to come to us. Now, how do you want me to stay with a woman like that? You want me to die? The Bible says it's better to dwell with a dragon than dwelling with this type of woman.
Or in the corner of
the rooftop.
That's right.
Now, you got songs that they're not, you got those that are not, they're not like mouthy. Well, they're so stubborn.
Yeah. You can't tell them no. Remember that sister that they come over one time? I called her, what did I call her? I call her humbly stubborn.
Right, yeah.
It sounds contradictory.
Oh yeah, it's from my country.
She had a humble spirit, but she was stubborn at the same time. You know, she weren't bucking up. Yeah, she weren't bucking up, but she was stubborn.
And these women, they're the one that, if you're not spiritual, they're the one that will come towards you, and then they'll say, oh, I'm in the truth, and then you will take him as wife, but after a while, you will be like, boy, what did I get myself into? Stubborn and dumb as hell, man.
So the term for it is called passive aggressive. So they're aggressive, but in a passive way. So you may not notice it, but it's a form of aggression.
Let's get back to it. Well, we read it before.
Yeah, do that. 8 and 2.
Deuteronomy chapter 8 and verse 2. And it reads, and thou shalt remember all the way which Yahawah our power led thee these 40 years in the wilderness, to humble thee and to prove thee.
In other words, to take you out of the world system. To take you out of the Egyptian way of lifestyle.
Because 18.
Yes, 18 and That's a very beautiful precept.
To know what was in thine heart,
Right.
whether thou wouldest keep his commandments
Whether
or
you
no.
could humble yourself if you was prideful.
I have a precept that goes into that as well. 1 John 2 and 16. For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh and the lust of the eyes and the pride of life
The pride of life.
is not of the Father, but is of the world.
And that's a good precept, because look at the sun and look what we see past us every second.
And that's
the
what the
lust
Most
of
High-
the world and of your eyes.
Right. And that's what Yahawah is trying to take us out of.
Yeah.
But when you're proud, the reason why you're proud because you are linked to an element of these worldly, of this world. It might be money, maybe women, it may be your job, your business, it may be what you do on a daily basis. That makes you so proud that you can't humble yourself to come and follow, to serve the Most High. And when you come to this truth, you don't want the next brother to tell you the truth or to rebuke you.
What's that going to lead
You
to?
buck up against because you haven't taken away the truth. So instead of us, when we came out of Egypt, he got us into the desert, but now we're in Babylon, but he does that spiritually now, where he takes away your pride, and he makes you lowly. All right, so in this truth, we simple, man. If the woman wouldn't want to be with us necessarily, certain type of women, because when they come to see us, it'd be boring to be honest with you, because we have a stoic life. I can't move on Saturday. You want to go and sit down somewhere nice on Saturday. I have to be here to do the work. You want us to go on holiday, and I can't go on holiday because I might miss my calling by doing the work.
And not only that, we can't take the max either. So
I can't take the max. I can't do this. I can't dress. I can't be the sort of cute guy that I was before. Because before, you know what I'm saying? Now it's rough. Now it's rough Yara. Do you want Yara or you don't? What do you want? I'm not gonna change for you. Do you know what I'm saying? So this is what we have to do. That's why we're losing our women and our people around you when we come to this truth, because they don't understand that. You get what I'm saying? But
They
hey,
don't respect it either.
but at least we
Because
can
you don't have to understand it, you can respect it. So they don't respect it.
They don't, but that's them. Like, look at the mommy. This is how a woman should dress.
Right.
All she has to put now is put the blue ribbon and the fringes. And she's good. See, that's what me, this type of woman like that. I'm not saying you, mommy, but like the way a woman will dress, that's what attracts me now, because I'm thinking that says a lot about a woman.
It's called modest apparel.
That's right.
A woman that want to show me, where you going? Dressing like that, where are you going? You got men that walking around with a woman and they have, look, you're stupid, because the men from the road, they're looking at the woman. Your neighbor is looking at the woman.
Thinking wicked thoughts.
Yeah, because it's so the thing, it's so the behind.
They don't love their wife, man.
They don't love the wife, bro.
He did.
You know what I'm saying? Okay?
Want to read that verse again for me?
Oh, that 1 John, a second. The book 1 John 2 and 16. For all that is in the word, the lust of the flesh,
What's in the world, the lust of the flesh,
right, and the lust of the eyes,
lust of your eyes,
yeah,
things
because you
that
see
you
things
see,
in it, and the pride of life.
and the pride, because you're prideful.
All right.
Things that, you know, you won't humble down yourself to serve the Most High God, to do what He says. You wanna do the worldly things and things that are pleasing to you,
That's right.
and not to the Most High. That's what the scriptures
Right.
And that's pride.
And he
right.
said, it's not of the Father, meaning the Creator, the God of Israel, but it's of the Word.
That's what this world teaches you. It teaches you how to be prideful. You know, not how to humble yourselves. They flip everything around. You know, so there's an order in the Bible where it says the Most High, the Son, man, woman, children. This world flips it around. So a lot of sisters come back into this truth trying to get under that order. They're too much pride in them to really get back to the order.
I mean, look, brother, look at this. How difficult is it to wear beautiful
Modest
dress
dress.
like that? Modest dress. How difficult is it?
It's easier.
Do you know what I'm saying? If a woman come like that to me now, I'm thinking, well, a woman like, I would say, Chica, I want to teach you. I would say, yes, sister, I will teach you because you deserve to be taught. Because already you put yourself in our spirit. But you
Not
don't.
not only that, but when you look at a sister like that, in your mind you think, wife material.
Yes.
When you look at another sister that's just how some of them are
just
dressed,
like-
you think another kind of material.
Yeah.
You're not thinking wife.
Hit and run.
That's the point.
No face, no case.
Crash material. You know,
Right.
hit and run.
It
You know what I'm saying?
shows that the woman has character.
That's right.
You got
That's
to
right.
understand that. You know, a woman when they show off her whole
She
body,
understands herself.
so there's nothing sacred about
Yeah,
the union
that's
you have with
right.
her. She's showing it to everybody. So you can't, there's no respect there, there's no manners.
And
And it shows that you're-
men tend to approach in that mindset as well.
That's right.
Like you see a sister with everything all out, you approach them in that mindset. Whereas
You
a sister
approach
that's a
them
bit
all
more
out.
modest.
That's why that woman
You know?
got raped after the club, man.
Oh,
After she come back from the club, she got raped, and then she put it on Instagram.
But that's the Messiah judgment, man.
that's right. Yeah.
Because the Messiah said she should be the
modest.
Maya.
She got raped,
It should be as a
Read that.
When you go to the club, that's what all the wickedness is sharing in the club, man.
Read that because the reason why a woman, you know, yes, the reason why a woman, the reason why a woman are going through what they're going through by being raped and that, it's a curse because look, a sister like that, when you see her, believe it or not, she has a spirit. There's a spirit that comes with wearing a
Being
dress.
modest and being humble.
She when a woman is modest, the evil tend to stay away from her. It's only when they're wicked that they attract wickedness. What do you want when you dress like that? What do you want? Bring it out.
This is
What do you
Micah
want?
7 and verse 10. It says, "Then she that is mine enemy shall see it."
And she that is my enemy, man. I want people to understand. Make no mistake. Your woman is your enemy. If your woman is not in this truth, I used to say sleeping with it. One day I woke up with my ex and I was
Sleeping with the enemy.
I understood I was sleeping with the enemy.
That was a movie title.
Yes. You're sleeping with the enemy, man.
Serious business.
You're sleeping with the enemy, man.
And let me just say, if a person is not part of the solution, then they're part of the problem. And that's fact.
But, you're gonna have to learn sometime with it. You see, in this truth, you gotta have to do thing. Don't do thing before the time. Before time, if you're with a woman and she's not in the truth and she pleads to dwell with you, don't try to sack her. And that will bring its own curse. What you do, that's your patience right there. But just bear in mind that you're sleeping with the enemy until further notice, meaning like
The Most High says, "All right, I'm gonna switch her mindset. It's time to judge her."
If she decides to change, then boom.
But that's
If it
why we
doesn't
always
change,
say,
she's your enemy.
that's why we always say Yahawah Ratata, because it's Most High's will. It's not
And
your
to be
will.
honest with you, sometimes the Most High will bring you the second wife anyway on the side so you can enjoy yourself. Because he's going to speak to a sister that understands you. You know what I'm saying? That want to know. So the Most High can give you another woman if you can handle it. You know what I'm saying? Because handling these women is not easy. But some brothers can handle it, man. If they can, that's the blessing, you know?
Micah 7 and 10. "Then she that is mine enemy shall see it, and shame shall cover her, which said unto me, Where is Yahawah thy power?"
Where is Yahawah thy power?
Right. So that's what the brother was talking about that sister that got raped after the club.
Because these are the two women that they're proud. We're talking about the most. I don't want to listen to your God. I'm not interested. You're boring.
What's that song? There's nothing going on but the rain.
Right. Right.
Says, "Where's Yahawah thy power?
I mean-
Mine eye shall be older.
Yeah.
Now shall she be trodden down as the mire."
And read out Amos 7:17. You know what I'm saying? Because this is what's going on right now. I don't even know how we got ourselves talking about a woman thing.
Amos is discussed with pride, isn't it? Says, "Therefore, Amos 7:17, therefore thus saith Yahawah, thy wife shall be an harlot in the city."
Now, why shall be a harlot in the city, man? That's why a lot of these women, they're creepy, man.
17. It says, thy wife shall be an harlot in the city, and thy sons and thy daughters shall fall by the sword.
That's right.
That's what we see now. Like, there's all these videos going around on WhatsApp about brothers getting lit down. I even had to say in one of the groups the other day, like, man need to stop posting these things.
Yeah, because it's
like,
spreading the
that's a certain mindset you put yourself in as well.
Spreading the affliction.
You know? But you know what, on a deeper level, when he said the women shall be prostituted, and after that, their children, because a lot of these women, they have sex with the next man while they're pregnant. And that comes with a curse. So the children that are born, if some of them, you know, they're destroyed from the womb, man, because a different blood went and paid a visit.
And also to add to that, also a lot of these women, they follow into foreign doctrines of different religious ideologies, and they teach their children the same thing.
Exactly.
So that's the reason why. Yeah, no, that's the reason why the Moses was telling them not to marry this other nation, because the woman is in charge of bringing up your children. So it's Chinese. The boy gonna be eating, you know, he wouldn't
say that they spoke off in whatever language. Yeah, you didn't understand it either.
And that's why I'm to Tiger Woods. You know that? That's why I'm to Tiger Woods.
It says, and thy land shall be divided by line, thou shalt die in a polluted land. Israel shall surely go into captivity for.
Yeah, but that's I think that's what we're going through right now.
Land, look where we're in.
Look,
And we're dying here.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We're dying, man. But why?
Scriptures are
Pride.
real.
The pride of life.
Bring that.
Okay, bring out.
That's it, yeah.
The 6 and then 10. So this is the book of James, chapter 4, verses 6 and then 10.
Yeah.
Verse 6. But he giveth more grace, wherefore he saith, God Yahawah resisteth the proud.
Says he resisted the proud. So he's not going to give you that grace if you can't humble yourself. If you know how to humble yourself and you slip, the most I will say, let me give him a bit more grace. But if you got all that pride spirit upon you and you slip, most I going to make you slip in more than that.
So you have to, the most important thing about the pride is that you have to take rebuke. You're going to have to take rebuke. Honestly, like you read, it has to be done with wisdom, with love. Or you need to take rebuke, or rebuke is the one that makes you better. You know what I'm saying? Because the most I will test you. If you don't take rebuke, then that means you go to show yourself out.
In this world, they will call rebuke king.
But it's even in the law for you.
But it comes even in the truth, like you can be talking to your brother or about something, but you might think that because you hate, you know, but that's because he comes from the word. You know what I'm saying?
And love hate. And hate love, you know?
Yes. Hey, but at the end of the day, if you don't want to change, the Most High will lead you down. That's right. Okay?
But giveth grace unto the humble. Verse 10. Humble yourself in the sight of the Lord Yahawah.
Right, humble down, man.
And he shall lift you up.
That's what it says, man. That's where you get that crown in the end.
So yeah, we're being purified right now. So we have to be humble, because when you're purified, you're being purified, a lot of the dross, the impurity and everything has to come out. So you have to be humble in order for you to be able to be successful in that process.
You know the unity. Proverbs.
We need humility in this movement. Alright, bring it on.
It's Proverbs 27 and 5. It says, open rebuke is better than secret love.
Read that again.
This is a Proverbs 27 and 5. It says, open rebuke is better than secret love.
Because imagine if I say I love my brother, but I never show him it, I'm hiding it. It's pointless.
And you're gonna be, and so you're gonna be gossiping about me to the next brother instead of coming telling me, and they're saying the word, you're a bitch. They say you're a bitch ass nigga, like they're saying, because you can't man up. If you ain't man up, one thing you have to man up to be able to tell the truth to brother. Just avoid gossiping.
And
gossiping is bullshit. Gossiping is bullshit. Gossiping is for women. Let your women gossip. I love a woman gossip. That's the nature. But a man when he knows something.
It says, faithful are the wounds of a friend,
It says, faithful are the wounds of a friend.
but the kisses of an enemy are deceitful.
Hey, that's what happened to Yahawah. Judah went and kissed him, only to sell him. You know what I'm saying?
And what is
The kiss of death.
It's almost like, you know, when you ask all the apostles, they asked Yahawah, which one of us is it?
and is it me? Is it me?
And then when Yahawah turned to Judas and told him it's him,
He said, go and do what you have to
if it's
do.
going to be me,
It's
then I
me.
guess it's going to
Yeah.
be me.
Through the Spirit, let me explain this kiss thing, this deceitful kiss. What it is that, what it is, when you love someone or you feel close to someone, they could come into your personal space. So when you kiss somebody, it's not a gay thing to kiss somebody. It's just showing that you're affectionate to that person. But also it means that you're in close proximity. So if I go to kiss my brother here and I got a knife here, I could easily just choke him up. You see what I mean? So this is where that deceitful kiss
Yeah, I get what you say. Meaning like,
springs from.
when you
Letting them in
kiss your
close.
brother, I mean that you're so close to him that he can.
It says, he
That's
was
the
tender
God
and
is
delicate
down.
among you, you know, we used to be tender and delicate among you.
Exactly.
In the kingdom, we get in other kisses, you know, like in West Africa, when I say hi, it's not just hi. Hi your family. How's your dad?
Exactly.
How's your mom? How's your brother?
It's semi-Greek.
How's your cousin?
Exactly.
How's your son? Oh, is he back now? Oh, how's your daughter?
It's not like an empty.
How you doing? You're right. What about your health? You good? Like,
job, yeah.
all of that. Love. But now it's like barely we say hi to each other, especially in London. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so this is the book of Proverbs, chapter 16, and verse 9. And it reads, a man's heart deviseth his way, but the Lord Yahawah directeth his steps. And then I'll precept that with Proverbs chapter 16 and verse 1. The preparation of the heart.
It's like that brother that came up earlier on. Read verse 9 again.
This is the book of Proverbs chapter 16 and verse 9. A man's heart deviseth his way, but the Lord Yahawah directeth his steps.
Yeah, like he directed that brother that came up here earlier on just to get the word, you know what I'm saying?
This is the book of Proverbs chapter 16 and verse 1. The preparation of the heart in man and the answer of the tongue is from the Lord Yahawah.
Great.
And I'll precept that with Proverbs 20 and 24. And it reads, man's going are of the Lord Yahawah. Yeah, that's right. How can a man then understand his own way?
That's right.
Yeah.
Another one?
No, Dean, 21.
Yeah, right, yeah. 21.
You know, really,
Yeah.
which Proverbs 21?
Proverbs 21 and verse 1. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord Yahawah. As the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will. Might as well, yeah.
Jeremiah, which one?
10:23.
I think it's 23. I think it's 23. I always get them
You know, someone got stabbed up right there, it's not.
That's now.
If it's not 23, I'm telling you.
This way the recreation set.
Someone got stopped.
The seventh today, this is the seventh person got stabbed today.
Today.
Or 10, 20. Might be 10.
Judgment is being, issued.
You see with police cars.
Yes, 10:23. So this is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 10, and verse 23. O Lord Yahawah, I know that the way of man is not in himself. It is not in man that walketh to direct his steps. So that's a full hog.
That's a full Monty.
I'm still looking to see if I find another one, but so far.
Okay, as we know we're about to close, so you know by now, you've been with us long enough what we do here. this is the conclusion of the whole matter. So we're going to turn to the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 12 and verse 13. And we're going to bring, as always, the conclusion of the whole matter. Yeah? So, this is Ecclesiastes, chapter 12 and verse 13.
Read.
And it reads, let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear Yahawah our power and keep his commandments. For this is the whole duty of man, every Israelite man, woman and child. Verse 14. For Yahawah shall bring every work into judgment with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil. So I hope you take heed with that. So all you prideful Israelites, the Most High will bring that into judgment. Yeah?
Right,
so take heed.
So with that, as usual, we're going to close out. We're going to give all praises to
Yahawah,
Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Baha, Rakah, Kadash. Boom, Yahshua. Catch us here next week. We out.
No salam, salam.